Yes. Oh, I got to get the camera adjusted here. Turn the stuff on. Turn the light on. Get going like you're supposed to. Be a trained broadcast professional. Today is Monday. Welcome to the World Show. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, Los Angeles time. And, God, I'm awake. I'm functioning. I have to. Now, I got to be fair with you. My pants are on. My boots are not tied. They're not laced. And the workers in the backyard are pounding nails trying to put together the shed. And so this is where we're at. But I need to welcome everybody who I haven't seen before. I saw a lot of brand new names. I was trying to write them down, but I can't write very fast. You guys know that. I did try to say hello in the comment section because I had a spare moment. Yeah, for the first time, I wasn't racing around doing backflips and then jumping and landing in the chair and grabbing the mic right as the camera came on. For a change. Thank you very much. So there was stuff. It's the World Show, and there's so much stuff going on in the world. However, I've already been bombarded this morning just within the last 20 minutes. I had a topic. I had a question. I actually had questions for you guys all across the world. Wherever you were, it didn't matter where you were. I had some very basic, generic questions that were important to me. I wanted to keep my finger on the pulse of what you guys were thinking. So I just had like a couple, 3 questions. This was going to be a real easy peasy Japanesey type of thing to do. And then all of a sudden, I get like 30 emails and 20 text messages. Did you know Tucker Carlson is leaving Fox News? Now, I don't know if that's world news. I mean, perhaps if Fox News does go around the world, I get where you guys would be interested in. That's a brand new story. Everybody kind of saw that there was something coming. There was some strife, was there not? There were some things going on there they were a little bit worried about, but everything ends in continuing story. You go to Fox News and, well, they've agreed to part ways. They're doing different things, and then and more to come. Always says at the bottom, more as this story develops. And, the MSNBC and CNN had the same thing. In fact, everybody's got the same thing. In fact, no one is even guessing yet. The story is so new, nobody's even guessing on how we arrived at this point, which seems really funny to me. I'm looking around going, so we're all just going to sit here and pretend we don't know what's going on. We're all just sit here and more news cycle. Okay, I'll wait. So I'm supposed to sit like this, just twiddling my thumbs. Also, I'm not supposed to let you know that it's pretty commonsensical on how we ended up with him leaving under mutual agreed term. They're not going to talk shit about Tucker. Tucker's not going to talk shit about Fox. He was the number one show on Fox. Remember when he used to co-host, what was it? I think he co-hosted Fox and Friends for a while, or was it The Five? He was on one of those. Maybe it was Fox and Friends. I don't know. He's co-hosted before. He was with MSNBC before that. He even had a stint at CNN back in the day, and then he took his show to the number one slot. Now, you gotta kind of just put in perspective the common sense factor on this. You got to think of it like Generation X. You got to think of it like old school. You got to just sit back with your cup of coffee in the morning, scrutinize just a little bit, listen. Do more listening than talking. That's what I did. I just read a few things. I listened to a few things. I put it together in my head. I took a sip, and I went, well, that makes sense. So follow me on this, because if you're talking about a guy who's got a number one show, they're obviously making a ton of money off of Tucker, and he's making money off of them. It's a very mutual beneficial relationship. So let's just talk about a couple aspects of that real quick. But before we do, my lovely blushing bride has shown up.
Can you hear me? Oh, can you hear me?
Hello. Everybody can hear you.
Hello, everyone.
Is yours.
The countdown has started. 6 days till contract renewal day. So you're being nice to me this week.
God, that's really how you're going to start this conversation?
I'm just saying. It's just a reminder. Yesterday started with flowers. I'm wondering what today's going to be.
Can a guy... Okay, you're tying those two together. They're unrelated. I got you flowers yesterday. I hadn't bought you flowers
because it was Sunday.
And it was Sunday. And I thought, you know what? I'll pick some nice flowers. And it would have been nice for you to tell the whole world yesterday, to post it everywhere, how wonderful your husband was.
I posted it on my Instagram page.
3 people go to your Instagram page.
No, not true.
3.
No, not true.
Actually, I'm kind of glad you didn't post it anywhere else, because I have a harem of ladies that would be very disappointed.
Well, they're beautiful.
Included.
Beautiful. I'm wondering what's coming today.
Nothing. This isn't. I'm not buttering you up for contract renewal.
Okay. Well, I'm not here for that.
Contract renewal, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who don't know, our anniversary is coming up at the end of the month, and we don't call it anniversary. We call it contract renewal. We get at our age, you get serious. Like, yeah, keep all your gifts and keep your no. It's whatever you're thinking. A happy anniversary to you too. Let's get down to how did you do last year?
And now are we going to keep you for the upcoming year?
We're going to keep you on board for the team for the next year. It's contract renewals, negotiation.
It's either contract renewal or D-Day, divorce day.
So that's the joke. For those of you in the World Show who may not be privy to some of that inside information, that's what she's joking about. And I bought flowers just because it was not a perfectly timed gesture in the hopes that she keeps me around.
Well, I'm here for a couple things. We received $10 from Stephen.
Oh, and Stephen said?
Nothing.
Stephen, thank you for the $10. But if you don't allocate where that money goes, if you don't say it goes to mom's new dining room table or something like that, or to the kids' car repair, then it goes to the whiskey fund. Any unallocated funds go towards me. Jennifer.
I also have breaking news. Breaking news at the breaking news desk.
And what do we have just coming in?
CNN is parting ways with Don Lemon. Don Lemon. It was just reported now.
That's been a long time coming. All right, I get the Don Lemon thing, and that just came across the wire. That's so what? Don Lemon, his ratings have always been down. He's not a good journalist. Nobody believes him. He's not a journalist. He's more of an activist. You know, he gets every story he does. He's kind of like that guy Van Jones. Every story, they don't really care about the story. They care about the political angle. They care about the racial angle. That's all they're there for. And CNN's they have to change it. They've been changing some. They got to shed away some of that. Their market share is so low. They're still profitable. They still make money. They still are a viable entity. Everybody says, oh, CNN's in the toilet, man. They don't even make any money anymore. Well, you're wrong. They do. So Don Lemon being gone, number one, I don't care. I care more about where he ends up. At least when he was on CNN, you could take him in context with the show you were watching, couldn't we? We all know. It's like we look at him and go, no, all right, the guy's probably full of shit, but I'm watching a full of shit channel, so who cares? You kind of knew what you were getting. I'd be more worried about where he ends up in a new venue where people are going to be like, ooh, who is this person? And he is so wise and smart. No, I'd rather keep him in a place where everybody knows he's an idiot. I'd rather I'm more worried about where he's going than where he's from. So back to talking about Tucker, the decision, you got to remember the decision for Fox, and we'll get to the basics on it. The very last. Yes, I will keep you around until I give you my opinion. I'll string you along, as they say. But it had to be a tough decision for them. They make a ton of money off of Tucker. I mean, he has he's the number one show. He passed Hannity, and everybody thought forever no one was going to surpass Hannity, and then there he comes. Tucker does sensationalize a little bit in my mind. I know nobody else will draw this correlation, but there's his style and his presentation to me are amazing. The way he speaks just it encapsulates everything that I want from a journalist. The way he presents it, I love that. However, I do think that Tucker sensationalizes some of the things a little bit more. And I don't always mean exaggerate. Maybe exaggerate's a little bit of a good word there. But when I say sensationalizing something, I think he highlights things that may not be always the point of the story. I think we can see that sometimes in some of the things that he does. But I think there was a ton of things that he brought to light. I think Tucker brought some things up, just like the January 6th footage. Some of that stuff was just downright amazing that he brings that edge to the story first, or maybe in a better way in how his presentation is that I enjoy so much. But the big thing we know was the Dominion scandal. They were suing him. They were suing Fox News about Dominion and the voting machines, and they were talking about that being, and let's be fair, everyone says fraud, lying, stealing, cheating Dominion, and yet you think with all of the lawyers, all of the power, all of us as people working in these areas, researching, no one had a big smoking gun. I never saw it. I know you guys yelled at me a ton when the elections were out. I was like, what are you going to do about it? What do you think about this? And the fraud, and they stole the election from Donald Trump. I said, show me. I was open to that idea. I was open to that being a possibility. I was very clear. I said, show me. I said, don't tell me that your uncle has 300 ballots in the back trunk of his Buick and he didn't turn them in and therefore they were all Republican votes. I'm not talking about that. That stuff goes on both sides all the time, everywhere. You got 50 votes here, you got 100, even 1,000, okay? You show me a place where 30,000, 300,000 votes got changed. Now I'm interested. Now there's a potential for fraud. Now there's an issue. No one ever showed me that unless I missed it. Now, maybe I missed it. I'm not all-seeing and all-knowing. No. I am not anorak by any stretch of the imagination. But if you can't show me that, then I have to stop talking about it. I want to stop thinking about it. I don't want to wake up every morning going, I just got to find the proof. After a year? Now, I know there's a bunch of people going to scream, it was covered up and it was hidden. All right. What do you the most outrageous, now maybe it's not outrageous. If it's not outrageous if it's true, it's not outrageous if it's true. It's completely outrageous if it's not true. This is one conversation I had with someone who was in the know, and they said what the machines did was all the machines counted the votes, erased all the votes, put the votes out the way they wanted it. Donald Trump lost, and then the machines went back in and put the votes back the way they're supposed to be. After all the counting was done, the vote, if you ran the machine right now, if you had all the machines right now, because now they've got the real votes back inside them where they're supposed to be, it would show Donald Trump won by a landslide. But these are electronic equipment. These are computer operated, and they took the votes. Donald Trump won by a landslide. They manipulated them, presented them so everybody could see them, then put them back the way they were. Now you don't know that they've been tampered with because things are back the way they were. And I said, that's the most fucking bizarre thing I've ever heard. And no one caught on to this. And then I asked, how do you know? Well, I'm not at liberty to say. I really can't talk. My life would be in danger. Yeah, you're full of shit then. That was the biggest one I ever heard, is that the machines corrected themselves for inspection. When the machines were inspected, they looked hunky-dory because everything was put back the way it was. Now, other than setting that thing aside, which was just the biggest story I'd ever heard, and again, it's outrageous unless it's true, and there's never been a shred of proof of that. I didn't see anything where anybody had anything. Everybody kept saying, well, it was 300,000 votes were taken in a boxcar, out a train, and a freight train across state lines in Illinois. And show me. Quit talking about it. You know, if there was billions of dollars in lost gold stolen out of Germany in World War II, show me where it went. Show me something on the other end. Show me where the gold arrived. Show me where these votes ended. Well, they burned them all. Come on, man. You know, the count's pretty close to people voting and number of ballots we have. They're pretty fucking close. So Dominion was like, we have shown you everything. We have told you everything. You guys have investigated until the nth degree. What was it? What's that guy's name? Mike Liddell, the My Pillow guy. He got sued and lost and had to pay like $1.5 million or something because remember what he said? I have a Dominion voting machine. I have it in my possession. I stole it, and the proof is here. And then it wasn't. And he didn't have some story about, they snuck in the middle of the night and erased the hard drive. They burned it. They stole it from me. No, he had it the whole time. Nothing. All right? So, again, talking about the presentation. I love Tucker's presentation, but sensationalizing. He was pretty confident when he was saying that the voting was fraudulent. And he always would say, well, we have to ask these questions. And boy, there's some unanswered questions here. But the way he said it with Dominion was a little different. The way he described the Dominion and the elections, well, we have proof that these machines were tampered with. And I'm just asking questions here. No, you're not just asking questions when you said, if you would have said, it looks like, it appears, can we get someone to see? No, he kind of crossed that line. Remember Adam Schiff? I have seen the evidence. I have seen the classified evidence. Trump and the Russians. I've seen it. Turns out Adam Schiff's one of the biggest fucking liars on the planet. Nobody likes the guy. He will lie right to your face and smile and keep right on going. And when you catch Adam Schiff in a lie, he just keeps right on smiling and goes, so what? I lied to you. What are you going to do about it? News cycle's over. Everybody believe me. He's not at that level, but you can't say those things as a concrete statement and then back up and go, well, that's what I heard, and then move on. You're not just casting doubt. You're pointing the finger and then saying maybe. That was kind of what he did. So they settled the lawsuit. All right. Now, everyone's trying to speculate. Let's bring this back around to where we started. Everyone's trying to speculate why, what's going on. First of all, if they settled the lawsuit, that means they're guilty. No, doesn't always mean they're guilty. It means they just want to get the fuck out of it cheaply, make it go away. But I'm with you guys. Chances are when you settle, a lot of the times you're settling because you know you're guilty and you're going to lose. I'll go with you on that. But I'm just saying there's two sides of that. But typically, if I had to guess, I would say that Fox News' attorney and Tucker finally said, we're going to get our fucking asses handed to us here. If we pay now, we don't have the political fallout. People still think we're trustworthy. We got sued, we lost, we paid, whatever. Okay. Because you don't have all the details coming out. You don't have every detail of everything he said. They're going to rehash it again. They're going to bring up everything he said, every picture he ever showed, every conversation, and we're all going to go through it again. Right now, everybody's kind of forgotten all the little things that he said and did. We just know that he said a bunch of shit, wasn't too good, and Dominion sued them. That's all we really know, because no one's going back. We don't care. But we're all going to relive it again. Is it worth it for Fox News to relive it again? Is it worth it for Tucker to go through it again, have every day CNN and MSNBC out there reliving the moments, reliving the phrases over, and Tucker said this, Tucker said, God, just nobody remembers. Let it go. There's another reason just to pay the lawsuit and be done with it. Now, you would think this would be, we're going back to what I said about Fox News makes a bunch of money on Tucker. I mean, he does. They do. They do great advertising. Biggest following, number one rated slot. Why would they so easily give that up? Well, two lessons got learned. I don't know if you guys remember Bill O'Reilly. Let's back up a little bit. And I know I'm talking way out of turn here. Literally every website, every news organization has just reported he's leaving, and they've all said more details coming soon. All right. I'm just going to tell you from common sense what's going on. I'm just explaining it my way, all right? Just so you know where I'm coming from. I've just explained how we got to where we are. Let's continue on. Good. Glad you're coming along with me on this one. So Fox News remembers Bill O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly had the number one highest rated, most money-making show for 21 years, The O'Reilly Factor. A lot of you remember Bill. And Bill got tangled up with sexual harassment and whatnot, and it was a thing, and he left. Now, Fox didn't totally try to keep the guy. They weren't like, well, we got to keep his number one show. They were worried about that. They're worried about we're losing our golden goose. Now, they had other people. They had Hannity, and they got the news desk on the news side, but they also had the commentary side. And Fox News like, yeah, if you're going to leave, that's a good idea. Just go on with your bad self and get out of here. They risked their number one guy. They risked losing their standing. What if Bill had gone to another station, plugged right into another channel like a CNN or like an MSNBC and drug his followers? That was a huge risk. Now, he didn't. He went on his own and did some stuff, but it was a huge risk. But what they learned from that is that nothing detrimental happened to them. Fox News continued on. Pretty soon they got another number one guy with huge ratings, almost as up there with Bill's, which was Sean Hannity. A little while after that, Tucker comes along, grows his audience up there, passes Hannity. They get this, like, okay, well, we can get rid of our number one guy because there'll be another number one guy. And we'll slot this guy and groom this guy or this woman, doesn't matter, and we'll push things through and we'll get another one. They are still the number one news network in America. They still have the number one digital online news in America. They got a lot going for them. They got a lot of talent. They're banking on, I'm sure they're banking on, we'll fill the slot, we'll rotate some people around, someone will emerge, we'll bring them up the ladder, and we got somebody else. Okay. Now, that's on their end of it. But you got to think about Tucker. Now, he's thinking, hold on a second, this isn't working out the way we thought. They're still negotiating. It sounds like Fox is going to be okay with me leaving. I'm not happy about that. They'd like to keep me, but there's some problems here. And then he's looking at Bill O'Reilly. He's looking at what happened going, that guy didn't go off into obscurity, but damn close. He has some call-in stuff he does with Fox, and he's got his own. He tried to rebuild the O'Reilly factor online, almost identical, mirroring it. He just couldn't get near the audience, not even close to what he had before. So Tucker's got to be thinking about that too. But you have to go and say, how did we? Okay, so we know that Fox could be okay with this. They've settled the lawsuit. They're okay if Tucker leaves. They're going to get another number one guy. But why risk it? Why would Fox, even though they can get a number one guy, why try? Why do it? Why Tucker's numbers are still going through the roof? Why not leave him right there? Well, there's a risk. They just settled a huge fucking lawsuit because of what Tucker said. What if he says it again? What if he says something different? What if he says something worse? All right, so what do? Regulate him? What do you put some crony and says, all right, every word that's going on your teleprompter, we're approving it first? No, that would never fly with anybody, especially Tucker. You're not going to do that. Tucker got to where he is by being the freedom to be him. Now, maybe you could have a little sit down with him and go, dude, no more accusations. Curb what you say, in the accusation. Word it differently. Say all the shit you're saying, but word it differently. They could do that. They could trust Tucker. He's a fucking grown-up. He's a smart guy. Like, yeah, I'll be more careful about that shit. Back to work. But they're not doing that. They settled. They talked with Tucker and said, you know what? We think it's better we just go our other ways. I'm sure they're thinking, we'll get another number one guy. We got plenty of talent here. Guys that are coming up. We got guys chomping at the bit. And you notice that Fox News does that. They'll move people around. They'll take, Jesse Waters and move into a slot on Carlson where Tucker's thing was, along with rotating other people. Then they'll rotate somebody in to the 5 where Jesse was sitting. They'll move some pieces around the board and they'll shuffle and see what comes up. They have the ability to do that. I think they're not risking a whole lot. Plus, doesn't that give them credibility? We let Tucker go. All the people that say, we hate Fox News, hate, fuck Tuckerson and Fox News and guy, hate those guys. All the people that hated them, now Fox News can say, well, it just didn't work out. We paid the lawsuit. We apologize. We let him go. Looks good. Makes them look good a little bit, doesn't it? So I don't see a huge downside to this. They settled the lawsuit. Like, all right, we apologize. We settled the lawsuit. We'll take care of this. Tucker's going to go. We'll find somebody else. We got number one guys all over the place. We got talent. We'll part ways. No pointing fingers, but we're a good news organization. We paid. We apologized. We got rid of the guy. We moved on. Makes them look good, and they're not risking a whole lot if they know they can bring somebody else on. Tucker's in a similar boat. They paid. He has all he can stand up and go. You realize right now he could stand up and go, yeah, and I still think Dominion fucked everybody. I stood my ground. I kept my morals. I stood my ground. I said the truth. I'm a journalist, and I'm gonna go someplace else, and I'm gonna keep speaking the truth. Doesn't look bad on him if he's actually sticking to what he believes in. Everybody who hated Tucker is still going to hate him. Everybody who loves Tucker is still going to love. Nothing's really going to change there. Those lines are drawn already. Now, back to what I said, he does have to worry a little bit about the O'Reilly factor. Let's see how I play it on words there. He has to worry about, don't go into obscurity. Don't think you're going to have some online presence. That is very difficult to achieve. Now, could he Could he sign on anywhere and do anything? Could he sign on with the Daily Wire? Could Ben Shapiro bring him on? They just brought on Jordan Peterson. Could he come over that way? Yeah, he could. That would be a huge uptick for him to be on something, to sign on to that group. He has options and he's seen what happened to Bill O'Reilly. He's got some options to not go down that road. But again, it's paid. Fox is the one who apologized. Tucker's sticking to his guns. He looks good. They look good. They're not worried because they're going to find somebody else. The last step in this is, what is Tucker going to do next? That's it. Because he's got a ton of, he doesn't look bad right now. If you think he looks bad, you thought he looked bad no matter what. Him leaving doesn't make him look any worse. If you already hated Tucker, you hate Tucker. If you love him, you're still going to love him. It doesn't matter. I don't think that Fox is in a bad position at all. In fact, if anything, they got rid of a guy peacefully, quietly, amicably, who could fucking cause them, $700 million in the future for running his mouth. He's done it once. That's a risk. That's a huge risk. So everybody who's saying more to come, follow the story. Don't see. I don't know why we have to wait. Can't we piece this together with a little bit of, hey, I've been on this planet 50 years looking at stuff, and I'm just going to tell you what I see. Fox is in a win situation. They don't have the liability anymore. Tucker's gone. He's not going to say anything. They got rid of him, so they look good. We got rid of our problem. They have a bunch of talent coming down the pipe. They can find another number one guy. They've done it before when Bill left. I think they're in a good spot. Tucker's not in a bad spot. Hey, I didn't have to admit I was wrong. Fox and the insurance company paid the lawsuit. I stuck my ground. I stuck to my morals. Everybody loves me. I'm going to leave. They said, okay. I said, okay, I'm going to find something else. But I'm taking my fan base and I'm taking my integrity with me. The only thing we don't know, if you want something more to come, then it's where he's going. Haven't we just what have we been on the show here now? 30 minutes? In 30 minutes, am I missing something here? Or have we now just encapsulated pretty much, we've caught everybody up to speed, and it's almost like we're 3 days ahead of the rest of the media. Tomorrow, someone's going to say, well, there doesn't seem to be a big downside for Fox here. They're weighing their options and letting him go. They can probably, and then 2 days after that, someone's going to say, well, Tucker's leaving with his integrity intact, a mutual decision. It's almost like they're holding this stuff back. They're going to string up these headlines for 3 days. And you guys and I are just going to be going, yeah, we already fucking knew all this. We got it. Next, there's something else to talk about. We got it. We know exactly what everybody's thinking and doing and carrying on. And remember, at the end of the day, if nothing's changing anybody's mind about Fox or Tucker. If you hate them, you hate them. If you love them, you love. Not much is changing. The only thing maybe, and this is to Fox credit, the only thing maybe, and we mentioned this quickly, is that maybe some people that don't like Fox will go, all right, a little nod to you there, a little tip of the cap to you there. You got rid of the guy. Good for you. Way to go. That nicely done. Good job there, Fox News. Maybe another upside for this mutual departure. Now, saying all this, that's unless there's some bombshell that none of us know about. If this plays out pretty straightforward, like we all think it's going to, I believe in my best guesstimation from my age, from sitting on this planet for 55 years and being a keen observer of human nature, and just getting, the story just broke, getting the emails. I'm kind of shooting from the hip here. Let's face it, I haven't had any time to do any research on this or prep. I'm going by just what I'm seeing in memory. Have we not encapsulated pretty much the whole thing? Is it going to be a big surprise to any of us if the things that I'm saying today get told over the next 3 or 4 days by everybody else? Not because I'm brilliant, not because I'm smart, not because they're going to be quoting me. It just seems logical. This seems like, all right, well, this, and the deal, and yeah, okay, well, we're done here, and you go this, and here's our advantages, and there's yours, and we're done. 30 minutes. 30 minutes. I think we got it summarized pretty well. All right. So you guys have written the emails. A ton of them came in, text messages. What do you think about Tucker? There's what I think about Tucker. I don't have a prediction for what he's going to do next. I just threw out there that it would be nice for him to connect with someone like Shapiro on the Daily Wire and have him join that organization. I think that would solidify that organization. Again, it would be another big building block of just this massive stone structure that's building something beautiful in the right direction, in my opinion. What do I know? I'm just a dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert. And, of course, no one has said anything about that. But that would be great if that happened. If there was any sort of chance that would happen, I think that would be exactly the format that Tucker would need to retain, almost all of his audience. But that's pure speculation. All right, let me jump over here between the sheets. For those of you who don't know, the sheets is another monitor. My wife is in the other room, and she's copying and pasting comments if you guys had anything worth repeating. So remember, I'm telling a story up here. I can't read any comments going by there. And I do want to read some of the comments. So what she does is she copies and pastes them over here, and when I get a chance, I turn over. These are Google Docs or Google Sheets. I don't know. She's in there doing stuff. I read it over here. So we affectionately call it the sheets, between the sheets, because that sounds sexy. Got my wife over here between the sheets. Now, we don't need to talk about it being Google Sheets. It sounds better when you just say it that way. So Tomash gifted 1 membership to Jerry Wayne. Jerry Wayne, you are now a member. Your name will be green. You can go back and see all the behind-the-scenes stuff. What else do we got over here? T. Brinkley 3, welcome to Bottom of the Glass Nation. I hope someone saw Brinkley go by and said welcome. I obviously missed it. I see it now. But you guys got to remember, when they count on you guys to say something, when they go by with their name, they've taken time to log in, to register, to pay the couple bucks to be a member. You guys got to welcome them. You guys are part of the family. Let them know what's going on. All right. Mrs. Four Watton with her big red one, the always classy, the ever-present, lovely Mrs. Four, gifted 5 memberships. Agnes Goulier, oh my God, Badistava, I'm fucking that one up. Janet Dudding, Losing Hope, and James G. All of you got memberships. When we're all done here, go to the YouTube community section on the Kids Gen X Talks page, scroll backward for 2 years and see all the stuff you've been missing out on. Tomash did another one, membership to Todd Seaman. He's in the same boat. Everybody who's just became a member after the program, go back and look. Scroll back through all the behind-the-scenes stuff. You can only see it if you're a member, and there's a ton of stuff there. All right. JK, hello, everyone. First time here. JK, thanks for stopping by, dropping a line. Stick around a little bit. It might become interesting. JK said hello, everyone, and he's here. Doc McFly, hey, have you guys watched 2,000 Mules? I have. Very interesting take on that. Boy, it's compelling. When you watch 2,000 Mules, you are convinced that Dominion lied. You are convinced that the whole thing has been manipulated. You got to take it for producers and directors and how they line stuff up. And we don't know how much of that was actually 100% in context. There's a few things in there I saw in 2000. Like, well, wait, pull it out. Doesn't that belong over here? More powerful if you show it here, but wasn't that over here? Couple things like that gave me pause. DeBeast, Tucker got to go the Rogan route. He could, but that's not his format. Not as much. He's been doing that more lately, I would agree, but it's possible. Amanda Libby, don't broadcasters have insurance on them in case they get sued? They do. At that level, some of those companies are self-insured because of the infrequency of the big numbers. Also, some of them, their contracts with insurance companies, there's a split. Insurance companies say, if you fuck up, we're not going to pay $1 billion. We'll pay, $700 million. You're paying $300 million. I have no idea what Fox's relationship with their insurance company, but yes, Amanda, you're right. There are insurances for libel lawsuits and things exactly of that nature. But believe me, the insurance company's not going to go broke over this. They've set that up, and some of them set up their own companies and self-insure, put their money into a mutual fund, let it grow, pay the money, and they still keep going. I have no idea what Fox's was. I just know that some of those things exist. And my wife is back. Hey, you're smiling today. I like that.
Hello, Mrs. Four sent $20 for Mom's new dining room table coming soon.
Coming to a theater near you. No, Mrs. Four is neglecting me, and she's just PayPaling you $20, and you come in here with smiles on your face.
Because there's hammering outside right now. It's going back up. The studio's going back up.
There's a lot of hammering going on out back.
Yeah, I think they're in a hurry.
That little shitty air compressor they got bugs me too. It's out there. They got one of those little air compressors, and I mean, it's horrible. And I can hear it out back, and it cycles all the time because the tank's only got like 2 gallons in it. But, you know, hey, I'm not going to knock those guys. It's not my profession. It's theirs. What do I have to say about it? All right, so I don't know if you guys had any more to say about that. I'm not sure if you got what I was going for. I tried to give it to you and bring it around full circle, so we tied it all together. Now I guess we can do what we always do, the World Show. We do this all the time. Bottom of the Glass Show, we do this all the time. I've said 7, 8, 9 very poignant things in how I was drawing all these conclusions together. Let's see how many of them get repeated over the next 3 or 4 days. And not repeated like they're listening to me. Let's just see if I was on the same page as some others. Let's see if my brain was working the same way. Let's see if some of these things roll out. Remember what we said here, folks. This is common sense. It goes a long way. Let's see if any of it leaks out into regular media and social media after today. Maybe, just maybe, you guys and us here at Gen X Talks, maybe we were first. You don't know. Maybe we were first on this one. All right. Nick Fisher, Tucker is good friends with Clayton Morris. He should go with redacted. Clayton Morris doesn't have a good track record. Clayton Morris got himself into some shady trouble a while back. Go look it up, some investment stuff, and that was one of the reasons. Plus, Clayton kind of had an attitude like he was too big for his britches and left. I don't know that I would follow Clayton. I'm just saying you could be friends with him. I'd be friends with him. I don't know I'd follow him. Daddy Daycare down Northern Ireland. All right. What do y'all talk? What the talk tonight from Ireland? I didn't have anything. If I let me go back. Let me start. We can start with Ireland. And let's try not to be super obvious and don't be an asshole. We got one from the second half of this show. There's one rule. Don't be a dick. All right. I'm going to ask a question. This is what I was originally going to lead with, so we can cut our time down in half. But I have to ask you guys, who as a country, okay, I'll speak from America. You can speak from America if you're there. You can speak from whatever country you're from. As a country, who do you think, what country do you think is your worst nightmare right now, your biggest enemy? What other country are you concerned with that you would keep an eye on if you were president or you were king or queen or you were czar of a country? Who would you go, you know what, I'm not concerned about Greenland. As an American, as the country of the United States, I'm not concerned about Greenland, not even on my radar. For me, China is probably my number one thing to worry about in my country. That's my and I have many reasons. We're still going to do a big show on China that's probably going to go over 2 hours because of the things that the order of the things, and then at the end we have to speculate. We have to wonder where these facts, 12 things that we know are going on, where they're leading us. It's a very interesting thing. I know I keep talking about it. My wife keeps begging me to finish it because I've been so personally intrigued. I spend a lot of time just reading and doing research, not for the show here, just because I'm interested. Now it's turned into put it together and tell everybody what you're thinking. All right, I will. Not right now. But China is, if I had to speak for the United States, China's on my list. China's at the top of my list. But I'm wondering, who's England worried about? Who's Germany worried about? Now, I don't need anybody from Ukraine calling in. I'm going to guess with Ukraine, you guys might be worried more about Russia than anybody else. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just a dumb mechanic. What do I know? But I'm going to say we don't need to hear from Ukraine on this topic, although I'd love to hear from you guys. What countries are you worried about? What country are you raising an eyebrow and going, God damn, that's going to fucking suck? All right. America's biggest threat is America. Now, I got no question. I know that was one of my other questions. Do you trust your own government? What's wrong? And it wasn't going to go down that road. I said country outside of your country. Gallon of stew, a lot of worry about Sudan. Now, you didn't say where you're from. You got to tell me what country you're from So I know what you're worried about. Sudan, yes, I would say Sudan is about to have one of the biggest humanitarian crises in a while. I think we're on the verge of that if we're not already there. If you guys don't know what's going on, go do a little homework on that. But Deepak is from Ireland, member for 6 months. Europe trying to bring in digital currency. Yeah, that's not really an attack by a country. Deepak's not wrong on that. That digital currency, if that becomes law in America, in the United States, that becomes the rule in the United States, that dramatically changes our economy overnight. And it changes it in a bad way. There is a big hit. We will adjust. We will adjust. But if it goes to a 100% digital currency and there's no more cash, that is going to disrupt. That is like pouring sand in your carburetor while your engine's running. That is going to be like throwing a big fucking wrench in all the working cogs and wheels. We'll get through it, but don't think for 1 second it's not going to be a big kick in the nuts. You take away the cash is how a third of the economy runs, they say. A third of the economy runs on cash in the United States, and you take that away because now you have to do it digitally. Now we're going to keep track of all the money. Now we're going to get our taxes. Yeah, but you have to absolutely kill 1/3 of the economy to get your way. You have to kill 1/3 of the American economy to get the power and the money that you see out there on the table that you can't find a way to get a hold of. And my government, left and right, conservatives and liberals, Democrats and Republicans, they look at that and they're like, yes, we're willing to fuck up the economy to get that power, money, and control. We'll do it. It's because it doesn't affect them. They're going to be fine. It's guys like me that's going to get the kick in the nuts. Yeah, that's if they take that's going to be, it will survive. But I'm telling you, you want to put us back to 2 decades ago. You want to kick us in the nuts, and all of a sudden there are people that are starving again. Well, it'll rebuild eventually, and it'll have just the effect they want. They'll have control of everything because everything's going to be on a debit card or a credit card. Everything's going to be digital currency and able to trace it. No more cash. They're willing to do that to my country out of selfishness for greed and power. That's what they're trying to do. Now, I'm guessing, Deepak, that Ireland, that over there in Europe is going to be the same way. I'm guessing they're like, well, the benefits are going to outweigh, all the problems we're going to suffer through. I'm guessing that it'd be the same for you. I know that's how it'll be here for us. Gallon of stew. Sorry, Great Britain. Thank you for getting that cleared away. That was Gallon of stew was talking about Sudan. I just didn't know where he was from. So Great Britain. Thank you. Brian Ivany, member for 2 months. Gen X Talks. If I was Prime Minister of Canada, I would first fix Canada, then worry about both China and Russia. Russia can handle our north and use it. Russia can handle our north and use it. That last line you got me on. I would say so, too. If we took care of the United States, if we just drilled for oil, drilled for natural gas, became energy independent, sealed off the border, let the good people in, kept the assholes out, we would be strong enough to face any challenger. We would be strong enough, organized, razor sharp to a point, and we'd be going after them, saying, yeah, we're going to be a little preemptive here. We're not going to wait for you to fuck around with us. We're going to come after you. But right now, not so much. Not so much right now. Nick Fisher, I'm an Aussie living in Canada, so definitely China. With you on that. PayPal, Mrs. Four, $50 for new perfume for mom. You know what? Okay. I'm going to tell you something right now. You guys have been, sidebar. I still want to talk about the countries, and yes, there's more going on. Please keep telling me countries and worrying what you're. Please, that's why I'm here. I'm listening. I'm learning. I'm from you guys right now. Okay, but I'm going to sidebar for 1 quick second about mom's perfume. The running joke that's been going on for a year now is that I quit buying her perfume. I thought she had a bunch of perfume. She smells wonderful all the time. I have bought so much perfume over the years, I figured she still had 30 bottles. They just use a little squirt every now and 30 bottles will last you forever. Apparently, she's been out for 2 or 3 years now, no perfume. And you guys keep giving me shit about it. to be honest, I don't even know what to buy her anymore. I forgot the name of whatever perfume she used to have. I don't know what the new things are out there. And we constantly get teased, her in a good way, me in a bad way, that I'm not taking care of the perfume factor. So I'm going to tell you what. Write this down. It's real simple. GenXTalks.com. It's a website. Just write that down. You don't got to go there. GenXTalks.com. And at the bottom, okay, at the bottom, is a personal mailbox, P.O. box right near our house, not too far away. If you guys want to send her perfume, send her the perfume, write your name down, and if she likes it and she wears it every single time she wears it, I will address the perfume by your name. If Mrs. Four sends something and she wears it, I go, oh, look at that. You smell so good today. Are you wearing Mrs. Four? That's a Mrs. Four Watton smell, isn't it? I will do that every time for the next 10 years. I don't care if we're out at a restaurant. Someone says, oh, your wife smells really great. I'm saying, oh, that's a Mrs. Four Watton smell. I will do that. I will openly, because I'm tired of you guys telling me I don't buy her for perfume. I don't know what to get her anymore. I don't even know what's out there. I don't watch TV and see commercials and go, well, I should go try that. I don't know. You guys want to send perfume, put your name on it. I will take her label maker. I'll put your goddamn name right on the perfume. It sits there on the bathroom counter, and it'll have names right on it. The perfumes will say Joe and Susie and Bobby and Cindy and Phil and Ed. That's the perfume, Ed's perfume right there. Then you guys can stop giving me shit. Then she'll have her bottles of perfume. If you want to make it $100 an ounce, buy it. If you want it to be 39 cents a gallon in a big bottle of perfume this big that's made out of horse piss and food coloring, send that too. I don't care. Either way, you guys need to shut the fuck up and back all the way off my back. I'm going to need you to get all the way off my back on this one. All right? Oh, for God's sakes. Oh, I have a good time with you guys. I really do. I really, really do. Thank you, guys. I needed that. Mrs. Four Watton member for 1 year. Damn, General, my perfume donation wasn't an attack on you. Well, it was the straw, Mrs. Four. There's been, you know this, Mrs. Four. You've been around for hundreds and hundreds of these shows. It was the goddamn straw that broke the goddamn camel's back. Your straw, my back, and now it's game on. I'll roll up my sleeves, and I will honor what I said. I swear I will. Mrs. T, member for 2 months. General, do you have any idea what you have just unleashed? No, Mrs. T, let me tell you, I know we're having a good time. We're talking here, but when we say something like that, doesn't happen very often. We'll joke with you guys like, oh, well, send me a hat. I'll wear your hat. You want me to wear a football hat for your team? And then everyone's, oh, you're going to get hundreds and hundreds of hats. We got 3. We got 3 hats. That was it. It's okay. It's just, it's more that I'm pushing back on you guys with the story, and I could rub it in your face. Well, I challenged you for the hats. You guys sent me 3 hats. So fuck you guys. I gave you the chance to make me wear the hats. You only sent 3. I could have rubbed it in your face. You guys didn't even know we only got 3 hats. It's the pushback. That's the fun part of it. Now, you know how many things of perfume she'll get in the next 2 or 3 months? 2, maybe a third, maybe 3. That's all. And I'm not going to make fun of you guys for only sending 3. Perfume's expensive, and it's a lot of work to go mail it. And I will talk about it. I will talk about the name and the stuff on there. But Mrs. T, it's not like you think. I mean, if we had thousands of people scrolling through the comments right now so fast you couldn't read them, if we had, Crowder's audience or Tim Pool's audience, which I'm thankful for the audience size we have, because then I get to know you guys. But if we had something like that, those guys could never say something like that, or it would be game on. At this level, just down home country, backwoods, dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert video, we're fine. But it's going to be fun. It's entertaining, and I love to see who actually does take the time to participate, And there'll be somebody who sends in a joke perfume that smells horrible, and there'll be somebody who spends it and says, please try it. And, it'll be a mix of stuff, but it'll be 2 or 3. It'll be a lot of fun. So, Mrs. T, there you go. Disney Mama, Sammy Joe, the Sugar Mama. I'm from America. I'm worried about a couple little island off the Dominican Republic called Isla Nublar and Isla Sonora off the Dominican Republic. Why are you concerned about them specifically? I would need to know. Disney Mama Sammy Jo, I'm sure that you're more than just a pretty face. You got to tell me what you mean, though. Help me out there. Leslie Mathis, I'm in East Tennessee, and China and Russia and Korea are the ones I worry about. Leslie, I'm with you on that. China's the top of my list. Russia, the only concern I would ever have with Russia is if they wigged out and pushed the button. That's it. Other than that, there's nothing, their economy, their ability to spend money and do stuff, Texas could outspend them and outdo them. All right. The Texas National Guard could probably kick their fucking ass. So other than just pushing the button, Russia's not a concern of mine at all. Heavy hard drive from America. Kind of worried about the country under Gavin Newsom. Yeah. Well, we are part of the underground here in California. So I hope Gavin Newsom runs for president and gets the fuck out of here. That's a terrible thing to say. I don't really mean that. Brian Ivany, Gen X talks, the Chinese would not have the general knowledge to handle, inhabit, or weaponize the cold far north. Oh, I got you. However, Russia used Old Man Winter in World War II. Now Siberia, they can Yes. Now I know what you mean, Brian. Absolutely, Russia can. Their soldiers, the badass groups of soldiers that can fight in the cold, the generals that can plan and work things through. Yeah, absolutely, the cold. They could. Yeah, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of countries that would be shivering, and those fuckers just keep drinking vodka and going. There's some of them that are badass. I'm with you on that. They know they would use the weather to their advantage. All right, Fox. Plocker? Is that supposed to be talker? Digital currency will slowly be incorporated and will be the mandated standard 3 to 4 years from now. Fox, I believe you. I would hope that doesn't happen, but I do believe you. I believe that is going to be a forced issue under the heading, this is best for all of us. Will raise taxes without raising taxes. This will raise revenue without costing you. There's all sorts of catchphrases they're going to use. And I believe you very much. What Fox just said is true. You can write that down. Mr. Blackstar, welcome to Legion of X. Mr. Blackstar, hope I caught you early on that one. Thank you for joining up, signing up. You can now go to the member section, the community section, and scroll through it. There's a lot of stuff that's in there free and public for everybody, but there is a ton of stuff that has been behind the scenes, stuff you can go back 2 years and look at. It should be fun. Flaxy, member for 2 months. Here in Minnesota, I worry about China and our Marxist governor, who would be Newsom, but we don't have the economy, and our metro is too small. Christopher Grain says hello from Sweden. Flaxy, yeah, China and a governor that is friendly to China, which is one of the problems we have here. Our governor is friendly to all of the wrong countries. Our governor is friendly to all of the wrong groups and organizations that cost money and bring us down. They slide us backwards. I'm with you on that, Flaxy. 100% agree. Couldn't agree more. Mrs. Forwatton, she wrote in here, $50. General, just because I show my life and appreciation from it doesn't mean I don't love you too. The studio fund. Okay, Mrs. Forwatton, let's stop on that compliment right here. That was a backhanded compliment. Now, I know that compliment you just wrote, turn my whole screen, you just super chat, turn my whole screen pink. Everybody could read it. Everybody reads your words. Everybody thinks you're wonderful. Except I need to take issue, Mrs. Four. Let's read what you just wrote. Mrs. Forwatton dropped in $50, half a C note. Very much appreciated. Very much needed. Thank you very much. General, just because I show my life and appreciation for Mom, it doesn't mean I don't love you too. Now, if she had stopped right there, would have been a great compliment. $50, thank you very much. You give to Gen X Mom's Perfume. You give to her table fund. You shower her with compliments all the time. If you'd have just stopped right there, it doesn't mean that I don't love you too. I would have taken that $50 as a term of endearment and moved on. But, however, you wrote Studio Fund. The Studio Fund is a group effort. The Studio Fund benefits my wife. It benefits me. It benefits the kid. It benefits you guys. $50 to the Studio Fund is a very generic way of passing along a compliment. Do you understand? That's like saying you're signing a baseball for someone and hitting it into the stands, and whoever gets it, gets it. That's not really a signed baseball for me. I mean, I got a chance at catching that ball, 1 in 40,000. You see where that's going? You see what's going on there? Chances are, Mrs. Four, I'm never going to see that $50. Chances are, Mrs. Four, that your donation right there is just a loving, kind compliment towards my wife and a backhanded compliment for me. I love you too. Here's 50. See if you can get your hands on it. Go ahead and try. General, here's 50 if you can find it. Boom. Now, Mrs. Four, I have nothing but love and admiration for you. But I also have received more than my fair share of backhanded compliments, and that's one of them. I'll deal with you directly. I'll find a way to deal with you directly, Mrs. Four. Yeah, it's time. It's time for you and me. Girl, it's time for you and me to never issue a challenge to Mrs. Four Watton. You don't know what you're starting. Oh, Mrs. Four Watton had a typo. Love and appreciation. Yes, I caught on to that. Oh, where are we? Who else dropped in there? Zach James dropped in $5 on PayPal. Or no, on Super Chat. Thank you. A signed baseball and a shot for the general, $5. Thank you, Zach. That $5 went right where you want, to the general for a shot. And thank you. That's what it meant. It was directed that way. All right, listen. I've had a really good time with you guys this morning. The hour went by way too fast. Thank you guys for tuning in. We covered a lot of ground. I hope that I answered and talked about the Tucker Carlson thing efficiently for you. It was kind of on my mind, but you guys gave me a full court press on it this morning when I woke up with the emails and the stuff. My phone is still beeping with these things. I'm trying to cover what you want. We did have a time to slide in the back door here and talk about the government thing. I would have liked to explore that a little further. What governments and countries are you worried about? Because then I wanted to talk about your own government, my own government. And so far, and here's the trigger that I was waiting for. I was kind of waiting for someone to say, I'm from this country over here, and I'm most worried about the United States. Didn't have any of those yet, but we didn't really give it the full hour. We didn't give it the attention it was needed. Let's try that again. Yes, I promise the big 2-hour program about China is coming. I will try to get that show put together before China actually attacks Taiwan. It really won't matter at that point now, will it? So I'll try to get that done ahead of time. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for wasting an hour with Gen X Talks. If you had an hour of your life to waste, what better place to waste it than here? No, you could do that. I'll write you a note. It's a medical condition. I'm also an ordained minister. We can call this a holy day, and you can tell people that you were at church. It's a true story. I wouldn't lie to you. All right, listen, I got to go. Thank you for tuning in. AM, FM, XM, Sirius Radio around the planet. Or if you're on the Armed Service Radio Network, thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it. As usual, wherever you go, there you are. And I promise you one last thing. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. I got to go. No, I really got to go. It's time to go. Thank you.